Yeah. Big baby JTV, man. Ready to get it started. Start with a like, man, and I appreciate y'all for watching the videos. I appreciate even the dislikes, man. Bring the haters. More engagement from me. Yeah. So, this YouTube beef. I don't really call it a YouTube beef. I think it's more of a YouTube disagreement. Mediocre tutorials and reviews versus Mike Rashid, right? And it's essentially Mike Rashid versus the MANOSPHERE, quote unquote MANOSPHERE, quote unquote RP community, right? So Mike was on the Fresh and Fit podcast, I believe, a few weeks ago, and then he was noticing in his comments that people were calling him a simp or a purple pill or a beta and all that, right? And Mike Rashid is not, does not fit those stereotypical terms, right? Or those type of perceptions. So when Mike Rashid was on his podcast, right, he officially learned about the red pill community, right? And the way Fresh and Fit, present themselves, they don't present themselves as red pill guys, right? Or manosphere guys. They present themselves as a dating podcast, right? Same way that a lot of feminists don't outwardly present themselves as feminists, but they are clearly feminists, and they say that in their rhetoric, right? So Mike Rashid was almost responding to people insulting him over the internet. Now look, he had some criticisms which are valid, right? That a lot of these guys are angry, a lot of these guys are bitter, a lot of these guys frankly hate women, period. And on that note, I agree with him. There's even a term called RP rage, right? Where a lot of dudes start being essentially pure misogynists towards women. I'm gonna say this. For them type of people and them content creators they listen to or they interact with, I don't like that, because I like the red pill. I like the RP community. I'm a fan of that. You feel me? I just like the stuff that is good and the stuff that holds women accountable. That's what I'm a fan of, right? I'm a fan of that ish, right? And I think that's what MTR was essentially getting to. MTR and a lot of RP content creators or manosphere creators are not there to demean and put down women or hate women. A lot of them just want to hold them accountable and say, hey, y'all want to hold us accountable. Why can't we hold you accountable? We're talking about the Kevin Samuels of the world, right? Why do you think Kevin Samuels is so popular? Because women are not being held accountable as they should. Do you get what I'm saying? Why do you think feminism became so popular? Because it held men accountable and held society accountable. But this is a version of it. This is almost like the counter side, the counter argument, right? And what's happening is that it gets whittled in the mud with people who are negative and who are pure out misogynists. Facts, right? And I think what happened is that Mike Rashid was viewing the comments and the ideas of the people who are on the polar ends. You feel me? I'll give you a political example. If you look up conservatism, like a conservative, right? A typical conservative is someone who wants less government, less taxation, more accountability, right, towards the individual, right, and less, wasting, like people who are financially stable and have traditional values that are about family, that are, essentially about community, right? But there's also the far right, which are borderline racist, ignorant MFers who are in the KKK. Do you understand? So look, do the far right polarized people make conservatives look bad? Absolutely. Do the crazy, wild social justice warrior people who want to cancel everything and everybody make liberal people look negative? Absolutely. Same thing with the RP community, bruh. Same thing with the manosphere. There are men out there who are pure all-out misogynists and hate women. Period. And them people get a lot of shine, unfortunately. And I think what Mike Rashid saw was them people who are more on the negative side. If we're being 100% honest, a lot of people in the RP Manosphere community would love to be Mike Rashid. Mike Rashid is built, he's tall, he fights, he's a businessman, he's rich. He would literally be what you call a high-value man, according to Kevin Samuels. But here's what's going on. The little bad apples are ruining the batch. And that's why I support the RP community from a distance. Because they're messing up the batch, man. These bad apples are messing up the batch, and they are also getting the most attention. But hey, am I right? Am I wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Big Baby JTV, and we out, bruh.